How can we be of service to you?
Can you speak about the animals and how they channel?
How they channel. They are open channels of Gaia, of all that is. There are no blocks in their way. They channel together with you the storyline of your planet. As you are co-creating with your animals, they are very strong mirrors and reflectors at your service, you could say. As every single species, every single being in their realm has its own mission, part of your storyline, reflector, teacher, on your path, on your discovery and remembering of all that you are. Do you want to go deeper into this? Do you have a more specific question about this?
Is there any species in particular, or are there only species that can't channel?
Can you repeat that last question? Are there only species that?
Are there particular species that can channel exceptionally well, or species that cannot channel?
They are all channels by nature, as are you. Do you understand this?
Yes.
As you are all connected to source, as you are all connected to light, you are all channeling that. You have chosen a specific form, a specific beingness, a language of all that is, if you will, to speak in, to have the experience of, to share with others and to receive from others what it is like to be perceived as a dog or a cat, you see. All that is comes into being in an infinite variety of shapes and forms and entities. And in your physical world, every single being is one of those translations. And it is learning what it is like to be that specific shape and form, and what it is like to be perceived as that specific shape and form. And it is within that co-creational dance of reflecting that you are teaching each other. That the dogs, for instance, are teaching you what it is like to be loyal and what it is like to be unconditionally loving. Most of your pets have that as a major theme. Some of you humans have very close relationships with their pets and have in some occasions already pre-birth decided that you would meet in this life. One part of your own soul has split off and decided to be your assistant or loyal partner or unconditionally loving aspect in this life. Often when that part is lacking from human sources for the owner. Do you understand?
Yes.
They are filling in blanks. The pets are, very often. And the wild races, all of them for themselves, have their own message for you. And as you observe them as a human race, you will feel things, you will think things, you will wonder about that specific behavior. And it is through all of these emotions and thoughts that they arouse in you, that they teach you more about yourselves. For all of them are beautiful, unique and magnificent aspects of all that is of the universe that you are creating. Every single animal in that is a part of the mirror that you have decided to look into. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Did you want to go deeper into this topic, or is this okay for now?
Okay.
We thank you so much. There is so much love here for you, and thank you for playing with the animal kingdom.
I'd like to ask you about relationship. that currently my companion started to drink alcohol. So I put up a boundary because I don't want to recreate that story with alcoholism, because I've done that before with other relationships. And just any guidance that you see to deal with someone that you love that is struggling with the alcoholism.
Can you repeat it in different words? We are reading into your energy concerning the topic.
To do what?
Can you repeat the last question in different words?
I would like to support my companion in a healthy way with his addiction to alcohol, and any guidance that would support.
Is he asking for your support?
Yes, in a way that he wants to, not at this time, I guess, but he wants to come back and he wants to...
Come back into a relationship with you?
Yeah, he wants to come back and live with me.
He has expressed this to you?
Yes.
And your wish is for that to happen, but not with him in the situation of drinking, correct?
Yes, correct.
At this moment he is drinking.
Okay.
That is a question.
Yeah.
And he did not ask for your support to quit drinking.
No, actually he didn't. Well, wait a minute. He did ask me to come pick him up and bring him to the hospital so he could get this medication called lithium that helps with nerves, and I just had a really busy time, and I didn't want to be I don't want to fall into codependent relationship where I'm enabling him to, because that's been a study of mine, different relationships, of having an alcoholic relationship and rescuing them, and it didn't seem to help.
Can you discern for yourself when he is asking for help that will clearly lead him to or away from the drinking, as opposed to when he is asking for companionship that is not leading him away from the drinking? Couldn't you make that discernment without diluting it with your own wish to simply be near him? You understand?
Yes.
When you can make that discernment, you can be there for him in that way without giving a part of yourself to him.
Okay.
That is creating that codependency that you just spoke of.
Okay.
You see? Mm-hmm. For when he is asking but not moving towards that which you have been asking from him,
yeah,
you are walking away from you.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
When you can make that discernment, you are consistently to him and in clear communication to yourself in a strong place. For as long as you wish to be there, as long as you choose to hold on to this wish of this image of the both of you in a future relationship again, and him being sober, for as long as you carry that wish, you can stay there. But do allow yourself to change your mind.
Okay.
Do not, if we may be so free, we would say, we are reflecting as we read from your energy system. You have earlier in the past repeatedly trapped yourself, if we may be so bold, in a structure because you told yourself it needs to be this way, forgetting what you really wish.
Okay.
So the relaxation was already gone. A wish is a relaxed state that you can hold in your heart, and when you think of it, you smile. When you insist a certain outcome, you frown. Check, double check with yourself when you think of your partner, whether you are smiling or frowning. And see if you can stay in that smiling place for him and help him when it comes from your heart to do so.
Okay.
And when it is moving in the direction that you feel benefits both of you most.
Okay.
Can you play with that?
Yes.
You are so welcome. You are so loved.
Thank you.
Now this goes for all of you. When you have a wish for yourself, a future image for yourself, you have been trained into your education, into your old paradigm system to speak about your wishes as a goal, as a target, as something that needs to happen at some point, whether it is a relationship, a career, some place that you want to live or where you want to travel. It isn't very much motivated. We have observed from our perspective in your society to just change your mind randomly from one moment to the next. And we would say, play with this, all of you. Shake those boundaries away from your head because they do not need to be there, and you are all still children, and you are also capable of playing and dancing together, and it will increase laughter. Imagine, just for fun, having a conversation with one of your friends in, for instance, a coffee place, and suggesting to them or sharing with them a journey that you would like to make, for instance, to Italy. And you speak about this country as it is heaven on earth, which, by the way, is within you. And you are Italy this, Italy that, and then halfway you just change countries, skip cities, go Greece this, Greece that, go Africa this, Africa that, and just watch their faces. See what that does with them. Jump around, jump around, jump around. Jump up and get down. Bring to the earth what is in your head. Oh, we do love your music. Bring to earth what is in your head and jump around. Give yourself permission to play, for you are a new being in every single second. This is how we live in our society. And we are just reminding you of your freedom to do that same thing, for it is within you all. You are free to decide to play around like that, every single one of you. You may have been working towards a project for months, and just sit still for a moment, take a deep breath, and imagine what it would be like to just let go and start a completely different project, to see what that feels like in your energy body. Now, we're not saying that you should throw things away just before you reach what you've been working towards. We're just saying, check in with yourself how high your passion level is. And by jumping on a sidetrack just for a moment, you can double check with yourself if that is still there, if that in love spark that you started out with is still there. You see. And you sometimes tend to forget along the way how much you loved something, why you actually began following a certain trail. And we just really, really wanted to throw that in there. Some sparks on top. Thank you for triggering that from us, dear one.
Thank you.
Along those lines, I'd like to ask a question, Arjun.
Yes.
You really identified for me what I've been doing in my goal planning, and I would like some new information for me on my wish to have a partner, a love in my life, and I've gone about it in my old paradigm, which is do assignments, figure it out, do what they say.
Give yourself a deadline.
Give myself a deadline, at least last week. And I'd like to just get a feeling for me, with who I am, how I can find my way in this journey, lightly and lovingly, loving myself along the way. What information you can give me at this time that will lend a hand in moving along those lines.
We love how you said loving yourself along this way. We would say loving yourself is that way, dear one. Loving yourself is the fastest and the quickest way to allow into your life the reflection of that in another. You understand?
Yeah.
So, know thyself truly is the way to get to know another. The more you understand yourself, your wishes, your heart, your path, your desires, your dreams, the closer you can get to all of these aspects within what you call another, a reflection, other part of you. You see, there is no agenda or plan or structure that can bring that to you, that can bring the depth or the height to you, that comes with being deeply centered within yourself, knowing where you come from, and most of all, foremost, knowing that also when you are alone, you are complete. What you call alone, for none of you really ever is. But you have chosen to have that experience, to play around with the illusion of being alone, to have that experience in your backpack of experiences, because you all know deep down within yourself that when you can overcome that, the togetherness and the celebration of that will be bigger than anything. When you discover that everything out there is within you, and you can celebrate that with another who is conscious of that, and you can be in awe with each other for you both see that you are each other, another version of each other, that you will never completely grasp, but always completely be a part of. And as soon as you have met, even if it was just in a 1 second glance and you will never see that other person again, you will always be connected. For there is no end to it. It has already become a part of you. Maybe some of you remember having this experience with a random stranger and being absolutely mesmerized by one gaze into their eyes. They may have been a waiter in the restaurant that you were eating in, or somebody behind a counter, or another kind of fleeing experience shortly, and just being in awe for a moment with a person. As soon as that happened, it is a part of you. You will for always and ever be connected to that person, to that energy. For what they provided you in that moment is a little window that just flew open because of a perfect breeze in a perfect moment, to show you the energy of what it is like to feel your own grandness, your own beauty, your own beingness, and the fullness of that through a reflection of another person. That is what happens in these moments. That is what happens when you lose yourself in the eyes of your lover.
So if the idea is connectedness, what about solitude?
Solitude. What about solitude? What is your question about solitude?
If we're all connected always and forever as energy sources,
Yes,
what is the purpose of solitude?
to experience the solitude itself as an experience, as it has its own power. And you see, in solitude you are connected to all in a peaceful manner without focusing on the separation. You have let go of, in that moment, the idea that there even is separation, if it is a peaceful solitude. You understand? You have merged with all that is. Solo means one. Solitude is like a prelude to being one. If we may be so free to play with your language a little bit like that. And the purpose of that is the blending. The blending, the coming home with a capital H to that who you really are. Do you understand this? Does that resonate with you?
Yes.
We thank you.
Can you speak of who we really are as a vibration?
You are an extension of all that is, and every single one of you has their own absolutely unique signature frequency. So who you really are as a vibration differs in every single split second as you are listening to us now, with your own thoughts about that, your own feelings about that. When you wander, you move into a certain frequency. When you feel distressed, you move into another, but you will always be unique, you see. Is this answering that question, or did you want to go deeper into it, or look at it from another angle so we can play some more?
I'd like to understand a little bit deeper about each person as a vibration, and to raise the vibration. If we feel like we're, well, this relates to my earlier question of wanting to be in a certain vibration. I understand about loving myself at that level, but I did want to understand more about what I mean when I say that, because I feel like I don't really understand.
When most of you speak of wanting to be in a certain vibration, of wanting to be in a certain state of joy or ease or happiness, what we get from your energy bodies is that you are not allowing in or relaxing into that state of being in this here and now. You're not creating it for yourself right here, right now, because you believe that there is something between you here and now and that state of being. You have placed it outside of yourself, and you have put a concept in between. You are stating that this is your frequency and it is separate from that where you want to be, and the wanting in itself reveals that to us. You see, when you become aware of that for yourself as you state that, you can investigate for yourself, what is it that I have put in between myself and that state of being that I prefer to be in? How can I allow that in? What is keeping me from that? You see, and with the answer of that question, you can lift that barrier and allow it to be. For it is at your disposal in every single moment. You are free to choose in any given moment how you feel, what frequency you tap into. You get to choose how you respond to your circumstances, because the way you label them and define them will define your experience of your world as you create it. Do you understand this?
It's better. I feel more empowered. Understanding.
It's always there for you. It's never not there for you, is mostly what we want to tell you. It's always there for you. It's baked into you.
So a frequency as we're speaking about it, would be a state of joy, for example, or a state of sadness and tightness. That's one frequency. Or we can choose to be in a state of joy.
Yes.
And aliveness, vitality, perception,
the
creation.
state of joy and ease and happiness and love and compassion are your natural frequency.
I got it.
They are your nature. When there is nothing, no belief system that is blocking you to be the fullness of who you know yourself to be, who you are, then that is what you experience. A deep ease, a deep relaxation, joy, happiness. You will find yourself smiling or just falling asleep and completely relaxing. You know, being in your pure happiness nature doesn't necessarily mean you have to be jumping up and down all the time, screaming and smiling and pronouncing to the world how good everything is going with you. It is this wide, beautiful range of varieties of bliss and joy and ease and happiness and compassion, and even just glancing at somebody and you see maybe a situation that otherwise you would have labeled as challenging, and just being able to be with that. And that is your nature. To just hold the space. To not judge. It is all the other stuff, we would say, that is so friendly and creatively being offered by your rational mind to play with, which is valuable in itself very much as a path that you have all chosen to play around with. When all of that stuff is being looked at with neutrality and love, you can say, oh, thank you, mind, that's very creative. I love how you are suggesting that I might totally stress out about this situation right here, right now. But no, thank you. Let's move on. I just rather choose to be here and now with myself in a loving space. And I'm choosing to close my eyes and remember that just a moment ago I was walking in a forest and I didn't feel any of this. And that is still a part of me. I am still amongst those trees if I want to. Because I have already connected with that frequency, and so it has become a part of me, and it is in my toolbox, it's in my backpack, and I can take it out whenever I like. So people can come up to me and tell me anything, but this is what I choose from. This is the frequency toolkit that I get to choose from. How do I want to react? How do I want to be in these circumstances? What do I choose to believe about them, and what frequency do I wish to use in my response to them? You see, without losing yourself in the drama and without just blindly grabbing or taking what the mind offers in its frantic survival panic, often, that you were taught and spoon-fed as children from your parents who were raised that way, from your television series, your soap series. You see.
Time.
We thank you all so much and are looking forward to dancing with you some more in the second half of this dance you call your question and answer. There is so much love here for you. There is so much love here for you. Namaste.
Namaste.
To you, for we are back to dance more with you in this question and answer, or statement and reflection. for we are open to all of it. We do love playing with you. For whenever we play, we learn from you. We learn ever so much more ways that are possible for all that is to express itself through all of your unique beingnesses. And we are honored and happy to meet you in this co-creation as we play together. So, who wants to play?
Hello, Arjun.
Hello.
It's very nice to meet you.
Thank you. It is a pleasure for us as well.
Thank you for coming to our center in the Redwoods.
We are not here, but we understand what you mean. We speak through this channel as a telephone in a sense. Thank you for meeting us in our frequency as we can through this medium at this time. It is our pleasure as well.
Wonderful. I had a question.
Yes.
I have been walking the path of the light, the so-called light worker, the healer, the shaman, the caretaker of the earth for many decades. And I have lived just as a regular human being with a 9-to-5 corporate job, very responsible corporate job, and also pursued, lived my life in the light as best I can. And with the heightening of the forces at play on planet Earth right now, I'm feeling called to this point retire from my corporate job and to step into my real love, which is facilitating healing and transformation and activation for people.
To step in a true responsible job, you say.
Yes, yes.
And we thank you for that, dear one.
It's my pleasure. And I'm interested to know if you have any guidance or words of wisdom for me as I make this transition.
You are already making this transition?
Yes.
How's it been going so far?
It's been going well.
When you feel you are on your true path, when you are following your heart, we really do not have anything to add to that. You see.
Uh-huh.
If you would have a question about it, because there is something that you cannot see yet for yourself, then we can help you discover the answer that is already within you and invite you to bring it to the surface for your conscious mind, that little rebel.
Mm-hmm.
But as we hear you and feel you now, you are walking that light beam, surrendering to what you've always known can shine that bright, has been shining that bright all along, but now choosing to embody it more fully. Correct?
Yes.
We can only thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I guess my question would be if you can see anywhere where I might be that's I can't see for myself, or I might be holding up this process, or anywhere I can make it easier for myself. I've started working with clients again. My clients are getting good results. It's the transition part. It's like, how do I get to the point where I can build up a practice enough so that I can actually afford to retire from my current job. And so I understand that there are beliefs at play here that I'm not aware of that may be holding me back.
There are beliefs at play indeed, and when you mingle the words in that sentence a little, you can play with your beliefs and change that around. Very much like what we described before, when you are wishing for a state where you feel, you know, you remember you are abundance and you want to be there, you can ask that question if you like. What have I put in the middle for me, between myself and that state that is keeping me away from it? How have I created for myself the idea that that is no longer a part of me? You see?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
For you are abundant. And by focusing on where you are allowing in more of that. And the more you wonder where it is, the more you are blocking it out.
Yes, good point.
So we would say, do what you do, take it one day at a time, stop that agenda mind from running forward and needing to know what it will look like then and then and then, and realize and celebrate in every here and now what is and what does make you feel abundant. Partay!
Oh, love it.
And the universe cannot do anything other but give you a reflection of that state of being as you are hugging it.
Awesome.
You see. And little games that you can play on that route for all of you, as we know this is quite a hot topic in your society. For instance, you can, when you go and buy something in your supermarket or anywhere else, when you hand out the money, be joyful that you can pay in that moment what you are paying, and do not feed that rational mind movement that is, in a sense, physically allowing you to do this, but mentally doing this. I wish I didn't have to pay this, but okay, I'll do it. You see?
Yes, I do.
I'm doing this now, and I'm doing it wholeheartedly. I'm doing this because I can. I'm doing this because it is here. And in this here and now moment, I love spending this money. For I have decided to buy this, and I'm going to celebrate that I will have it. It is mine already. I am paying. Now, doesn't that feel entirely different?
Yes, it does.
And oh my God, I have to pay. And then you can play with the numbers. This is a little game that you can play to make the whole idea of numbers and money a little bit more fun. Look for the double ones. Do you know this game? 11, 11, 13,
Yes.
13, 44, 44, and so on and so on. And just go to your supermarket going, whoo, maybe I can pay $38.38. How cool would that be?
I
And
love
just
it.
watch the universe play with you. Become that dolphin in that ocean of numbers, because it is all just you watching at the grid work of being in your holographic reality as you are co-creating it all together, overlapping your frequencies one on top of another until you all from a slightly different perspective are looking at what you think is the same room. You see? This is how you play in your interaction, how you co-create the grid. Everything is there in abundance, and the more you focus on the joy of having that, the joy of giving that, there cannot be another vibe but the one that will assist you in bringing you more of that. Because you are having so much fun with it, it seems as if you believe there is no end to it. You see, and when that is the conviction, the belief that you put out there, universe, your bigger you, your higher you in the self source, will be like, well, if she thinks there's no end to it, we better provide that. Because she's living as if it's there. She's believing it's there. She's feeling that it's there. You see? And it is mostly that last one that you want to practice yourself, ease yourself into. Do not make this homework. Do not make this another point on your agenda, tricky mind. Play with this. Yes, there are beliefs at play, but you can play with your beliefs.
Okay, thank you so much.
Does that resonate with you, dear one?
Absolutely.
You are so welcome and happy spending.
One of my favorite things.
Already on a roll. Now, of course, we are not saying to any one of you to push this over a line where you know you don't feel comfortable anymore and spending money that is not really there, you see. We're just adding that for we know how you can trick yourself into that one. And that happens too. And we do love how you play with everything and how you can pull anything into a new context yet again. Be aware of what you feel. It is this feeling energy that is your magic key. It is your heart that is your creator room. When you tune in with your heart, you can feel if it's genuine what you're doing, what you're creating, what you're making in that moment, what you are deciding to ease into, to engage in. Your game with your money, have it be a fun game. If anything becomes an obligation, you are already going upstream as soon as there's the slightest bit of that energy, even in your mind, you're already going upstream. So know thyself, scan thyself, tune in, tune in, tune in. Your center always knows, you always know. You are only 1 or 2 or 3 deep breaths away from your inner truth. You know, and you can trust that, and you can trust your gut feeling. What we see you do mainly on your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful planet Earth is playing hide and seek with your own higher knowing. Absolutely genius. It is a unique piece of creation. But you are waking up from the dream. You are starting to feel how dream-like life can really be as you wake up to your creatorship. For it is all you, it is all you, it is all you, even the money. And when you can play with any aspect of you, you are unraveling the dream. For it is playful. Creation is playful. And unconditionally loving you in any decision you make, supporting you in any decision you make.
I've struggled within this. Arjun, hi.
Yes.
Yeah. Chime in. I've struggled with, in this lifetime and probably many others here, well, just judgment and conditional love. And then in this lifetime, what's been really coming up over the past years is the oppression of women, and I've had it come up in different waves of becoming more aware and self-empowered and authentic.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And I feel a little, it just kind of resurfacing in little instances of just work and men bickering and arguing. I'm just speaking openly and honestly. And then like I spoke to, so when I speak to something that I think feels valid, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm this big drama queen at work. And then I just I'm just going through my own little, okay, this is just light. And then I read this morning, my friend who's traveling and having amazing experiences all over the world, learned about something that's happening in Bhutan still today. I forgot what it's called, but they even call it something where teen boys go out in the middle of the night and break into houses of teens and rape them. And when it's a gang of them, if the teen becomes pregnant, the village raises the baby, so she's totally supported. So while I just know there's no right or wrong or good or bad, and it's an experience, it still feels very challenging for me to read to this morning that in Bhutan, teenage women are being raped by several teenage men, and that we're creating that. Like, why are we creating that? And I don't have like a big deep thing to just open up right now, but that's how it came out.
By embracing all that is within you, being there does not cancel out the idea of a preference, you see. Do you understand?
Mm-mm.
You do not have to discard what you would prefer to see in order to be in that perfect place of center. What we feel is a misunderstanding, a confusion. In your concept, you have been possibly judging that within you, that you have a preference. That you would rather not see that is a preference. Do you see? Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Like I was saying, imagine a world in love with one another.
And that is how you create yourself beyond it. And we thank you for that. For that is where the key lays, to move beyond it and through it. When you understand that Bhutan is within you, and that this situation is within you, and that it is okay to not prefer that. And by not preferring it, you can focus into what you would like it to look like. And by focusing on that, you are drawing that into your energy field. And you can send love and compassion to the situation as it has been offered to you now through that other part, that other way that is still being explored by humanity. By all of you right here, right now, as you have co-created this sharing on this specific topic. There are parts of you, of this situation, active within any single one of you. And you can look at that and send your love to it, and understand that in every single occasion it takes a victim to make a victim. You see? For if there is even a second of resistance within that interaction between one boy or several of these boys and that girl, they have their own inner compass, they have their emotional radar, and you can only blank out a part of that compass if it has been blanked out within you. You see? When you see someone hit another person without any sense of the feeling state that comes with that, ruthlessly hit another person in that sense, what does that tell you about the person who is hitting? what does that tell you about the person that is hitting? They have turned off that part of their emotional compass. Why? Why have they turned it off? Because there was a circumstance within their lives that made them believe that in order to survive, they had to turn it off. So they deafened themselves, they blinded themselves. You see, it takes a victim to make a victim. And so their perpetuation of that erasing or turning off or ignoring and suppressing that part of their emotional rainbow is what they are showing to the world by hurting other people, which is really, if you look from your heart, a scream for love, for attention, because only love and only compassion can help them open that part up again and rediscover that that is who they really are and that they also contain these colors. Punishment is not healing, and your society is waking up to that again. As we joyfully notice that there are messages on your social media of prisons in countries such as Finland, Sweden, Norway, that actually offer the ones that are imprisoned education, a library, and personal coaching on a daily basis. They can go into nature, and these countries have the lowest percentage of people returning into prison after they have been released. Your country is starting to wake up to the fact that only love can heal to that degree. That love is the answer.
What is a sociopath?
Do you feel your question has been answered? One moment.
Yes, thank you.
Can you play with this?
Yes.
We love you so much and thank you for opening up that jar for all of you. Yes.
What is a sociopath?
What do you think a sociopath is? First of all, we would love to hear your definition.
The absence of a emotive state of empathy.
The absence of a
Emotive state of empathy.
A
Some people
motive.
would term it black energy. Some people would say that it's an emotional short wiring. Some people would say it's a genetic deficit. Did anyone else think of a... I'm opening it up to the group. A little more concrete.
I think back to the lack of the illusion of there not being love there for them when there was.
It is a combination between what we just explained in the last question of the turning off of emotional circuits within themselves as a survival mechanism that helped them to keep on moving in an earlier part of their own lives. Plus, they have on a soul level often, even before they came in already into this physical life, into this physical body, decided to be a teacher and a messenger for many. And they are very strongly connected to your collective subconscious. Do you understand? Your collective subconscious, where frustrations of many people are being suppressed, in a sense, with so much pressure that through a handful of strong souls, we deliberately choose that word, who have chosen to come into this time of transition and to be the releasing factor of all of that for all of you to see how crazy it can get when you completely suppress. They are, in a sense, you could imagine a tire that is pumped up full of air very, very strongly until no more air fits. And the sociopath would be the needle that punctures it in one location, and the pressure of air that is forcing its way out. translating that energy for all of you to see. Asking, inviting for you to have compassion with something that seems to be so far out of your emotional, empathic reach. Mm-hmm. And if you can even love that, even send compassion to that, they have fulfilled their chosen mission of teaching that they have taken upon themselves on a soul level. They may very well not be consciously aware of that, because we do understand how confused these people are on that level. But on a soul level, we see a whole other ball game, as you say it. And you can play with even that. You see. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
You are so welcome, and thank you for opening up that one. How are you in your time frame?
We have probably room for another question.
One other question. Who's been holding their breath?
When you speak in the we,
Yes.
Is there, or I should say, who is with you and why are they there now?
It fluctuates. There are several hundreds tuned in at this moment. Why are they there? Because they feel like it. They're curious. A nice handful of them is connected to you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
You're so welcome.
So we're drawn here tonight because we all have a connection with the YahYel in one form or another, as opposed to receiving your words of wisdom simply.
In one way or another, you are connected to us already by having this conversation with us. You have created, if it was not already there, your connection to us this evening. Some of you, and some of you already had that connection going in one way or another. Yes.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. A lot of family for you there. Here, whatever you want to point at. You understand?
I believe so, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you to the hundreds who were curious and came to play with us tonight.
So many thank yous back to you. Bright eyes and wide smiles.
They have that situation that reminded me on the earlier question about what's happening in Bhutan. They have this big movement in the South Dakota with this pipeline being built that's in danger of disrespecting and injuring our Indigenous people, Native Americans that have come, and one way I see it, that they've come together for the first time in history. And they are not showing it in the media. And it seems like this whole story, even with the politics, that they're not showing the truth on the media. And I just, any advice on that as guidance or as a spiritual center here, that we can help people gather and maybe even imagine how we want to see it.
You can always do that. You can always look within your heart and project beyond the co-created challenge as you have presented it to yourselves in your awareness. You see, You are always free to tap into that which you call your imagination and to create that new version of Earth, the parallel version of Earth that already does exist and carries the fruits of what you might imagine could be a solution. And you are always invited to play with that. So if you feel a calling to spread awareness around that topic, tap into your heart is what we would say. If you feel like playing around with this, and take it with the energy, color it in with the energy from your heart and present it in that way. Shine out to people your radiance, your vision of what could be. And if there is a practical thing involved, if you can think of something that might help, how you could support them or bring positive attention to their cause, by all means, please do so. For they are representing to many of you the asking of your own planet, Gaia, to be heard, to be reconnected with. They know they are the elders of communicating with Gaia. They have not forgotten. And they are teaching and remembering this. They are teaching you all now, helping you remember for those who resonate with that. But remember also, you have all come with free will and nothing needs to happen, nothing has to be a certain way. So heal yourself on those little spots where you are judging that. Some people do not feel a calling to help or assist or play along in the solving of this situation. Not important. Do you understand?
Yes.
Let that be and focus on what you can do from your heart. Let it all be in that color, in that light of your heart. And you will see if this is meant to be, everything falling into place. And for some people, the biggest gift to assist with that situation is to focus on what they feel they can give to the earth. And do that. Whether it is making paintings, music, singing, dancing, drawing, writing, taking care of animals, tuning in with children, trees, flowers, colors, the sky, gazing at clouds. Whatever you do that is in alignment with your highest frequency is solving this situation and any other so-called obstacle that you perceive in your world, for it is a reflection of your inner state. You see, you may very well be focused on sharing what you feel is your highest passion, your highest joy, your highest gift, and not even look at the news for a whole month and then tune back into it and discover that it has resolved itself. Thanks to those who are following their passion, their hearts, their joy. For you are all being invited to move beyond the old paradigm way of solving things the hard way by pushing and pulling. You are all being invited to play and dance and unite and be together, to stand for a cause in love without pressure. And they know how to. And that is why they have gathered. And they are gathering and representing many parts of your beautiful planet. And this is in the news for those who need to see it. You can trust on that.
Okay.
By all means though, if you want to spread that platform or make it wider and you feel that is your passion, go right ahead.
Okay.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Can you play with that?
Yes.
We thank you so much.
Thank you.
And every single one of you for being in general and being here tonight. You have been teaching us a lot. and you are freely invited to take from our sharing whatever resonates the most with you. We thank you so much. There is so much love here for you, and for those who wish to continue playing, feel free to invite us or those who are connected to you on the same frequency before you sleep, and see what dreams may come. Namaste.
Namaste.